Late artist Jean-Michel Basquiat is undoubtedly one of the most important, and as of relatively recently, most popular artists of our time. Although he tragically passed away at just 27 years old in 1988, his unmistakable, idiosyncratic, awe-inspiring work has become more ubiquitous than ever. So much so that his art can be seen throughout numerous recent collaborations that continue to popularize his take on reality. While there have been some questions as to whether or not his omnipresence dilutes his artistic legacy, seeing Basquiat's cultural footprint continue to expand has definitely been exciting. For Complex News, I'm Aiden with a guide to Basquiat and his most expensive paintings in light of his upcoming Sotheby's auction appearance on October 9th. Born in 1960, Jean-Michel Basquiat first found infamy with graffiti writer Diaz and their now iconic Samo tag. The duo prolifically wrote poetic, often satirical epigrams and tags across the Lower East Side of Manhattan during the late 70s using this abbreviation. After the two split, Basquiat turned his attention to painting, getting his work shown in international galleries in the early 80s. His first painting, Cadillac Moon, was sold to the lead singer of punk pop band Blondie, Debbie Harry, for just $200. By the mid-1980s, he was earning $1.4 million a year through his work. In 1988, after battling addiction, Basquiat tragically passed away from an overdose in Manhattan. While Basquiat was just beginning to be celebrated during his lifetime, upon his death and the subsequent obsession around him and his work, Basquiat has come to be heralded as one of the most innovative, most impactful artists ever. Wielding text, painting, poetry, illustration, and other mediums throughout his work, his creative expression addressed socio-political binaries such as wealth versus poverty and integration versus segregation. Basquiat would melt his experience and perspective into beautiful, abstract attacks on institutional power imbalances and colonialism. Despite a painfully short career, Basquiat is said to have produced around 1,500 drawings and almost 600 paintings. Many of these works have evolved into enormously important cultural touchpoints that have sold for outrageous amounts of money. The latest of them, which he's back in the news for now, is the painting Untitled Red Warrior from 1982. Red Warrior depicts a crimson armored individual brandishing a sword amidst an uncharacteristically uncluttered composition. This painting is set to hit the auction block in Hong Kong for the first time on October 9th. And is expected to sell for $19.2 to $25.7 million US. While $26 million is an insane amount of money, it pales in comparison to the price tags other works of his have sold for. Here are a few notable paintings that have also broken the bank. The first is Untitled Devil. This billboard-sized painting, created in 1982 in Modena, Italy, sold for $57.3 million in May of 2016. Initially estimated to sell at $40 million, the painting, hypothesized to be a self-portrait, is acrylic on canvas featuring a demonic figure pressed into a dirge of angry colors. The next piece is In This Case. This 6.5-foot tall multicolored skull painting was created in 1983 and sold in May of 2021 for $93.1 million. Interpretations of human anatomy and physiology are common throughout Basquiat's portfolio, stemming from his childhood when his mother gave him a copy of Gray's Anatomy while he was recuperating from a car accident. The next piece is Untitled. Created in 1982, Untitled is Basquiat's most expensive piece. Its pre-sale estimate was $60 million at Sotheby's, New York in 2017. By the end of the night, a Japanese billionaire purchased it for $110.5 million. Now, it's one of the most expensive paintings of all time, a far cry from when it was bought at Christie's for just $19,000 in 1984. Our collective, intense fascination with Basquiat's work is far from new and continues to climb as his artistic value keeps appreciating. This overwhelming popularization brings into question the morality of commercializing his work as brands endlessly collaborate with his estate. The selling of the paintings is separate, of course, but a neighboring infatuation has extended to the public as brands are sprinting to capitalize on his exposure. Here are just a few of the products. Casetify phone, laptop, and AirPod cases that feature the late artist's iconic work, Medicom Bear bricks modeled after Basquiat's collaborative work New Flame with Andy Warhol, button shirts by Japanese brand Wacko Maria, 1460 lace-up boots by Doc Martens, skim and surfboards by Saint Laurent, and a seemingly unlimited wave of Uniqlo seasonal collections. These collaborations come courtesy of the estate, which was created by Gerard Basquiat, the late artist's father, until his passing in 2013. Where it was passed to his two daughters, Janine Hervaux and Lisanne Basquiat. Basquiat's work was recently featured in an ad for jewelry retailer Tiffany Co. In an enormous video campaign featuring both Jay-Z and Beyonce lounging in a lavish home, the center of the focus isn't just the jewelry, but the painting. Basquiat's painting Equals Pi that the late artist made in 1982. Tiffany Co. recently purchased it and used the video as a work of art's first public appearance, according to a press release obtained by Vanity Fair. According to the Daily Beast, several of Basquiat's close friends and collaborators spoke out against the campaign. The words of one person in particular, Alexis Adler, who lived with Basquiat in 1979 and 1980, spoke to the commercialization of the work. She said the following: "I'd seen the ad a couple days ago and I was horrified. The commercialization and commodification of Jean and his art at this point, it's not really what Jean was about. Unfortunately, the museums came to Jean's art late, so most of his art in private hands and people don't get to see art except for the show. Why show it as a prop to an ad? Loan it out to a museum, in a time where there were very few black artists represented in Western museums. That was his goal, to get into a museum. Basquiat's iconic work continues to inspire and move the public, art collectors, and brands alike. While an oversaturation of collaborations risks diluting his artistic legacy, in the end, the work of a black artist from a time where there weren't very many at the table is undeniably driving culture decades after it was created. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. For more on this and other stories like it, be sure to subscribe to Complex News on Instagram and YouTube. For Complex, I'm Aiden.